We have a good old-fashioned haul today for this week's video from, wait for it, MZ Wallace's annual warehouse sale. Yes, I finally broke down. I've talked about wanting to try MZ Wallace for a while now, but I could never bring myself to pay $200, $300, $400 for a bag made of nylon. I've only ever made that exception for my Prada bucket bag, and really, this is a me thing because I just don't perceive nylon to be any sort of premium material, and my Lululemon and Uniqlo bags barely set me back like $20 to $30 a pop. So when I saw that they were having their warehouse sale a few weeks back, I just had to take a peek. And again, this is my first time ever buying from the brand, let alone their sale. But I gotta admit, the discounts were so good, y'all. Every bag that I picked up was for around 60 to 70% off. And I was just so swept up by the bargains that I bought not only one, not two, not three, but 4 bags from the sale. So let's talk about my first impressions of the brand, if these bags live up to the hype, if I have any regrets, which is always hard to stomach when you're buying things that are non-refundable and non-exchangeable, which was the case here. And to be honest, I do have some regrets and disappointments. So I'm not sure if I will ever be buying any more bags from MZ Wallace, but we'll get into all that in due time. Welcome or welcome back to a briefcase of luxury, where we love to chat about all things related to life, learning, and luxury. While I have no intentions of quitting my day job as a business professor, I would love to continue to grow this channel. So thank you for being here today. Now, I always feel the need to apologize because I am never patient enough to film a live unboxing. So all 4 bags have already been unbagged, and just FYI, I think the sale was only for like the first couple of days in July. Like, you could blink and miss the sale. It was so short. But after I placed my order, it took about 5 to 6 days for it to ship and another 3 to 4 days to deliver. So it wasn't the fastest shipping time, nor was it free, but they do kind of warn you that it can take up to 10 business days to process your order. Now, 3 out of 4 of these bags came completely factory wrapped, like stickers and foam tape over every bit of hardware and every zipper pull. The other bag was just kind of like taped inside of a plastic bag, so my guess, it was probably a return. Plus, there are no dust bags here or anything. I'm not even sure if that's something that they do. This just goes to show how little I know about MZ Wallace, but let's get into the bags. Now, these first 2 bags are the exact same style and size, and these are the Petite Metro Tote Deluxe. So I picked one up in their pale rose gold metallic finish and the other in their black lacquer finish, which is really giving off like a patent leather look. So we got good cop and we got bad cop, depending on my mood. Now, either way, if you've been around before, these are clearly not my typical style, but I've really been wanting to play around with textures and finishes, which is what I have done here for every single one of these bags. So maybe I can chalk it up to user error that I didn't get anything normal, you know? But at the same time, I don't think I would have had the courage to play around with these finishes if not for the price I paid for these. Like, yes, a Chanel rose gold mini reissue would be nice. A Lady Dior in patent leather would be nice as well. But I just don't think I want to gamble thousands of dollars to experiment, you know, on what for me at best would be an occasion type bag. But for $50 a pop, yeah, I can experiment at that price point, especially when these originally retail for $165. Now, by the way, all of these bags here are considered mini or micro bags. So again, just playing around with textures and finishes with itty bitty bags just made the most sense for me in terms of dipping my toes into these uncharted handbag waters. Like, I just don't have anything pearlescent, and I don't have anything patent in my collection. So this is sadly me being adventurous with my handbags. But who knows? Maybe these are my gateway drugs to even crazier bags in the future. So yes, while these are out of character for me, honestly, first impressions though, I really do like the finishes on these bags. That's not the issue. That's not where I messed up. Here's where I messed up. I thought the Petite was the micro size. Look, these come in so many sizes, and I just wasn't fluent enough with the brand to have known. Like, I knew there was a mini, But I think the mini is too big to be called a mini. Like, the sizing label is deceptive. And I thought this here was the NYX size down, not the NYX 2 size down. And sure, they have the measurements on the website, but in my defense, on screen, in the pictures, on the model, the Petite looked a lot bigger than it actually is in real life. And by looked bigger, they look like they could hold more than they actually do. So I'll pop up pictures of the Petite, the micro, and the mini side by side, so you can see why I would have made this mistake. Like, the micro is supposed to be almost 1.5 inches longer according to the website, which when it comes to mini bags is a lot, but that really isn't translating on screen, am I right? Like, another big thing is that because these bags are so puffy, they look bigger than they actually are. So you feel like you're getting more bag than you actually are. Like, it's kind of like buying a big old bag of chips where you're really mostly paying for air. Now, I get that buying 2 of these bags in the wrong size is totally my bad. And I don't even remember if these finishes came in the micro size. I'm pretty sure they did for the mini, which is why I thought I just went for the NYX size down. However, the other issues I cannot take responsibility for. So my next big issue is with the compartments. I'm gonna put this down and I'll just show you with the metallic one since it may just translate better on screen. By the way, here's what the bag looks like. Sorry, I haven't done that yet. There you go. Like, for being such a tiny bag, there are so many tiny nooks and crannies that all have these oversized zipper pulls and zippers. So when you're already limited on space, these elements just kind of feel overbearing and unnecessary. Like, why are there 3 main compartments in a bag that only measures 5 inches long? And I'm not even including one of the zipper compartments inside one of the main compartments. So here's what the inside looks like. I think I would have been fine with the 3 compartments if the 2 on either side actually went all the way down to the bottom. But yeah, they only go midpoint, as in these side compartments are barely big enough to fit my Louis Vuitton key clay, which is the smallest wallet that I have. In fact, I'm not even sure how well a card holder would fit in these compartments. Let's just go ahead and find out. So here's my key clay. And there it goes in the side, and as you can see, it's already at the bottom of the container. Let's just see if I can fit a card holder just on the other side. They are the same sizes, so I just have my gentcreate card holder here. And it's a very, very tight fit, but it does kind of fit in there. But here's the issue, all right? Let's say I have my key clay in one of the compartments, and let's say I put my chapstick and my hand sani in the other compartment right here on the other side. Well, because these compartments don't go all the way down, the bag now kind of sits awkwardly because of the unfilled space at the bottom. Also, if you have one of those big fancy iPhone Pro Maxes or whatnot, and you're not someone who needs your bag to at minimum fit your phone, then yeah, the Petite is definitely not the way to go. I have the 16E, which I'm filming on right now, which I think is the smallest iPhone currently available on the market, and it only just about fits in the main compartment if I put it in sideways, but it doesn't go all the way down either because the base of the bag is too narrow. So everything that I typically carry for what I consider to be my bare minimum essentials are now kind of awkwardly stuck midway up the bag. And if I were to set her down, then she'll just be all sorts of toppling over herself. Also, while I do appreciate the fact that the main compartment is fully enclosed, as in you can kind of see it goes all the way to the edges so nothing can accidentally slip out the sides. I also do like the fact that it is raised up a little, so it gives you the impression that you have more wiggle room to put more things in your bag. Like, I can still zip it up if I stood my phone upright, but again, if I were to use the 2 compartments, I still have unusable pockets of space at the bottom. So from a design perspective, I wish it either only had 1 main compartment so it's less busy with all of the chunky zippers, or I wish the side compartments actually went all the way down to the bottom. Like, with a bag this small and made of such a floppy material, you really can't afford to have unusable air pockets at the base of the bag. But again, it wouldn't have been so bad if I had just gotten the right size to begin with. I just didn't know what I was doing, okay? By the way, just to do a quick what else fits in this bag, here's kind of what we're dealing with. So I have my hand sani and chapstick on one side compartment. I did manage to squeeze both the key clay and the card holder in the other. I do have my passport in here. I just have a prop phone just to kind of show you what it looks like, as well as my packable bag. I mean, it looks like it still has space, but, you know, I'm kind of running out of little things that I typically carry that I consider to be a bare essential item. So yeah, even though I did get the wrong size, it does still kind of fit my bare essentials. It clearly won't fit my other travel essentials like my umbrella, my sunglasses, and definitely not my little portable fan or towel. Now, my final issue has to do with the quality, which is sad because, sale or not, after all the hype this brand has gotten, I thought the quality would be better. Unless their warehouse sale is for their bargain bin pieces that didn't meet quality control. Like, let me know if you know. Regardless, there are several things worth pointing out. First, I have been stuffing these bags to see if I can get them to fluff back up since they did come folded flat. And I don't know if it's because of the coating on both of these bags, but you can see creases right here at the bottom. It's definitely worse on the lacquer one right there. Can you see that? And I thought that was the issue for why these bags aren't able to stand up on their own until I realized that their bottoms are actually wonky in terms of how the edges are stitched together. I'll show you with this one. You can kind of definitely see it from this angle, how slanted it is. And I've been doing my best to really like dig my finger in here to try to pop out the corner again. See that? But it keeps wanting to just pop right back in. So even here, you can kind of see how uneven the base is. So even though this does have leather feet, they're fighting a battle that they can't win. Also, I did notice a few glazing inconsistencies and some loose or uneven stitches. And a part of me is okay with it, but man, I would have been bummed if I paid full price. By the way, the black lacquer one has kind of the same issue with this corner. It's not quite as noticeable, but still that's kind of disappointing that both bags seem to have that issue. I know I'm straight up dogging on these bags, but despite their flaws, I actually really do like the concept of them. Like, I love me a good lightweight mini tote. And maybe if I had gotten them in the right size, then it would have been easier for me to overlook the other stuff. But on the bright side, it's not a total deal breaker since these do at least still fit my phone-ish and the rest of my daily essentials. They may not sit very pretty in the bag, but they do fit. And by the way, both of these do come with detachable and adjustable crossbody straps. And the straps are nice and sturdy, so I have no complaints there. However, I do primarily see me using these as top handle mini bags for when the occasion or the outfit calls for a mini statement type bag. All right, these next two bags are both in the same style and I got them in the same finish, but this time I have the smarts to at least get them in two different sizes. So I picked up the micro Hobo in ice and the mini Hobo in black. Now, I don't have anything sequined in my collection either, so this is a lot of firsts for me with these bags. And same thing here. I see the appeal of having a blingy shiny bag, but I just can't bring myself to pay a lot of money for a blingy shiny bag. Like, yes, I do love the Prada crystal bags and the sequined Fendi baguettes, but I know me and the use case just isn't there. But again, at these prices, I am okay experimenting. So the micro was originally $135 and it was on sale for $54, while the mini was originally $185 and I got it for $74. Now, I will say though, the sequins are very nicely done. I love how they are sewn in a way where you can still kind of see the quilted pattern, which I just think is so clever. And overall, I definitely like these bags a smidge more, even though the Metro totes are more iconic of MZ Wallace. But let's go ahead and talk about the micro Hobo first. So yeah, this is absolutely teeny tiny. And in fact, this is now the only bag in my collection that does not even remotely fit my cell phone. But in its defense, I 100% knew that would be the case when I added this to cart. Like, the pictures for this online were pretty true to size, but it's just a vibe, isn't it? So if we want to do a what fits, honestly, let's just say nothing fits, okay? I am, however, glad that they didn't try to put any extra compartments in here. So we just have one main compartment. And it can kind of handle the key clay. Let's see how well it does with the card holder. You have to lean it to the side, but that can work. Let me go ahead and see if I can just go ahead and put both in here. And let's see if we can also put in my chapstick, hand sani, and let's just say my car keys. We can barely get those things in here. And you've now lost the little slouch because of the card holder, I believe. So let me go ahead and pull that out. That's a little better without the card holder in here. You kind of get a little bit of that slouch back. So clearly don't expect to fit much in here. This truly is just shiny eye candy, all right? And while I am a huge advocate for only buying handbags that can fit at minimum your bare essentials, which for me does include my phone, what can I say? I broke the rule here. Now, granted, because of its shape and because of its top handle, it's quite a comfortable carry to use this on your phone hand. So just grabbing your phone on top like that. Just imagine my imaginary phone. And that's actually pretty comfortable. So honestly, you just gotta treat it like a clutch and just be committed to holding it the entire time. And by the way, both of these come with similar straps to the other bags. I just don't ever see me using the straps, especially with this type of design. I think that these Hobo loopy top handle bags just look so awkward when worn with straps. I'm just not a fan of that look at all. Plus, these in my mind are like my dressy evening handheld bags, like for the once a year event that calls for a blingy evening bag, but the event isn't so fancy that I feel like wearing a designer bag. So I saved the best for last because I really think this is my favorite of all of the bags. And if I had just gotten this, I would have been equally as happy. And so again, this is the mini size Hobo in the black sequins. And I just think this is so gorgeous. And size wise, this is the best out of all of them, and it's also the biggest. It's like a proper mini bag that can fit what you would expect a mini bag to fit. I almost wish I bought the navy one as well, but that may have been a little too similar. And another part of me wonders if I should have gotten this in the mini size as well, instead of the micro, but would it have been too big and blingy for me to feel comfortable using it? And to be honest, I think that might have been the case. I think either in black or navy, this is definitely more up my alley because it's still blingy, but it's much more under the radar than this one. Now, if we went ahead and opened her up, she has this stunning electric blue interior. And here we do have one inner zip interior pocket, but overall, look at all of this real estate. So I just threw everything that was in the micro into this bag, and look, ridiculous. I have so much more room to play around with. So for 4 of these bags in total, I paid around $260, and that includes tax and almost $16 for shipping. Yeah, shipping was not free for the warehouse sale. But if I were to have gotten these at regular price, we would have been looking at $650 pre-tax and shipping. And at that price, it would have been a solid no. So would I ever be tempted to buy any more MZ Wallace bags in the future? I mean, when they do another warehouse sale, chances are, yeah, I'll probably be tempted again. But it really does make me leery that I would be buying blind. And if things don't work out, then I'll just be out of luck because I can't even return or exchange them. So I'm not thrilled about that. And by the way, if anyone can share more about the warehouse sale, that would be really nice. Like, is it an annual thing, a biannual thing? The sale was here and gone within days, and things were selling out by the hour. So there was that sense of FOMO as well, which made it all too easy to just keep adding to cart. So, I mean, do I have regrets about these bags? Ish, I do. And who knows, I might change my mind once I start using them. Clearly, they still all have their tags on, and they have yet to be properly put to the test. And once I do, I'll either redact some of the stuff I've said in this video, or who knows, maybe my gut instincts were right. I'll be sure to keep you posted either way. Also, I have no idea how well these finishes are going to wear over time. Like, I can see potential issues crop up with all of these because these are more delicate and they may not be suited for daily use. But on the bright side, again, I didn't buy these to be daily use bags either. So there you go. That's all I have for today. Let me know if you were able to snag anything from the warehouse sale and what your first impressions are. Anyways, thank you so much for sticking around until the end of the video. And if you enjoyed your time here, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And I can't wait to see you next time.